That's his name. And Asher, you coming up? Come, this one's yours, remember? Do you want one, Theo? Your brother has the other ones. You get that one, okay? All right, now the reason I gave each one of you a figure, there's a blank piece of paper here, and we have to tell the story so everyone else knows what we're talking about. So how many of you, last 2 weeks, I know it's hard to remember, last couple weeks we were in the first chapter of John, okay? Now I'm going to start giving you guys some clues what the first chapter of John is, and then whoever has the right figure, start putting it up on the board to create the story, right? So here are the clues. There was a man sent from God. His name was, I'm not going to say the name because one of you has them, but he was a witness to bear the light that all men through him might believe. And he was not the light, but he was not the light, but he was sent to bear witness. And this man said, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness. Who has this man? The voice of one crying in the wilderness. He said, make way the path of the Lord. Does anyone know who I'm talking about? Micah, what's his name? John the Baptist. Who has John the Baptist? Can you put him up here? Very good. Now, he was pointing toward a man, right? He said, I'm not the light. So who was John talking about? He said, his sandals I'm not even worthy to untie. Who was he talking about? He was talking about Jesus. Can you put Jesus up here? John's pointing toward you can't reach it? I'll hold you up. Put him right in front of John. There you go, because John was pointing to Jesus, saying he is the true light. Now, what body of water did John baptize Jesus in? What river? The Jordan River. Very good. Then we keep going. Let's see. Now, after he baptized him in the Jordan River, remember, John had some disciples. Now, this is where some of you others come in. What were the first two names of the disciples? Where's Zach? Oh, you're here. Okay. Do you have a figure? You didn't get one? Oh, you put your, that's right. So, there were the two names of the first two disciples. Does anyone remember their names? Actually, anywhere, the first 5 disciples that I was talking about the last 2 weeks. How many of you have disciples? Okay, can you guys put your disciples up? There were 5 disciples that started following Jesus. We'll put them all after Jesus. Yours, let's see, once there's room. Yours isn't yet. Your story, that is not a disciple, remember? Yours is coming up. Now, you can put yours right, which way is he facing? He's looking at Jesus. Put him right here. Can you reach? Good job. Now, can you tell everyone the name of your disciple? Nathaniel. You got shy. You looked at everyone. You shouldn't have looked. So, John was first. He wrote the book. Then who was with John? Andrew. Then Andrew called this guy. Who is he, Micah? Peter. This guy is Philip. And who did he call? What was the name of your guy? Remember, he was Nathaniel. He was under the fig tree when Philip came and called him. So now all the disciples are following Jesus. Now in chapter 2, Jesus came to a wedding. Where is Asher? Did he go back to his seat? Asher, you were supposed to put up the food. This morning he was stealing my food, and I told him he's going to put up the food. So, at the wedding there was plenty of food. They even added some unclean things. Someone stuck a pig on here. Who was that? So there was plenty of food there, but they ran out of what? In chapter 2, they ran out of something. Wine. And Justice, this is where you come in. How many pots of wine, of water, did Jesus tell them to fill up? 6. Put these up here, right under the table. Now, who filled the water pots? The servants. Who has the servants? You put them over here. We'll put John the Baptist down. His story is over. How big were the water pots? These water pots. I'll give you a clue. It says they were 2 to 3 firkins. Does that help you any? No? Didn't you guys go to school? How about if I would say 16 to 24 gallons? Anywhere, because there were different sizes. Now, he told the servants to fill them how full?
Up to the brim.
I knew you would know that. Up to the brim. All the way full. Okay? So, now, who turned the water into wine? Jesus did. And that's important to remember. It wasn't the vessels. That's right. So Jesus turned the water into wine, and if you guys have been listening to Moses' sermon, there should be one more water pot here. Does anyone have one extra water pot? Theo? Can you put your water pot up here? I'll hold you up. You want to let Justice put it up? Justice, what does the 7th water pot represent? The 6th one are man. So what is the 7th one? Say Jesus. That's right. So, can anybody explain to me how the water turned into wine? Besides saying Jesus. It's a miracle, right? It changed. It changed into something that was just plain old water, wasn't very good. Then it went into wine, a brand new creature, right? Creation. So the story I'm going to share with you today, in 3rd chapter of John, there's a man who comes to Jesus and he says, you must be born again. So remember, the water pots, Jesus turned the water into wine. Jesus does that same miracle inside of us. So let's turn to that story. That was very good, guys. I think everyone back there could understand what you guys were trying to say. So now we go into the 3rd chapter of John. What is that Pharisee's name who came to Jesus? Actually, let's see how well you guys pay attention. I'm going to read 9 verses. Then you guys pick out clues, and we're going to tell the second story to the audience, okay? Only 9 verses, so hang tight. There was a man of the Pharisee named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night and said, Rabbi, we know thou art a teacher come from God, for no one can do these miracles except God be with him. They seen the water turn into wine. He healed the sick. He said, God must be with you. Jesus answered him and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except you be born again, you cannot see the kingdom of God. See, this Pharisee was excited about all the miracles, but even if Jesus healed the sick, the wine still ran out, the sick still died. So what is more important? To see the kingdom of God where it will last forever. So Nicodemus said, how can these things be? How can a man be born when he is old? Do we have to enter the second time into our mother's womb? Jesus said, no, except a man be born of water and of spirit, he cannot see the kingdom of God. That which is born of flesh is flesh, that which is born of spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said you must be born again. The wind bloweth where it listeth, you can hear the sound, but you can't tell where it comes or where it goes. That so is everyone that is born of the Spirit. And Nicodemus said, how can these things be? He couldn't figure it out. See, he was used to reading the Old Testament, studying it. So now, back to my first question. What is the name of the Pharisee that came to Jesus? You know, second oldest. What is the name of the Pharisee that came to Jesus? and asked, and Jesus told him, you must be born again. What was his name? I'll show you him. He's right here. What's his name?
Nicodemus.
Very good. Nicodemus came, and what time of the day or night was it? What hour did he come? Do you know? Anyone else know? Tell me what time it was. Or it was at night. I don't know the exact hour either, but it was at night. Now, why do you think Nicodemus came at night? Because I think he didn't want the other Pharisees to see him. Because the Pharisees, see, if we back up a half a chapter, Jesus came with a whip and he cleansed the temple, right? So he said, let me see, where am I? Father's house. Yeah, they made his father's house into what we would call a sale barn. They had all kinds of animals in there. What do we call the Father's house? I'll start giving you clues. The Father's house, had a lot of gold in it, right? Had a lot of animal sacrifices were made outside in the courtyard. But what do we call this specific place where in through this door only certified people like the Jews and stuff could go? If anybody would have went in through this door, they would have died. So what do we call this area in here? The holy place or the temple, right? There was the Holy of Holies. You could go in the temple. There were certain restrictions in the Old Testament. I won't go into that because I'm running out of time. But here is the temple. Now Jesus said, you destroy this temple, in 3 days I will raise it up. Was he talking about the temple or his body? His body. But they said he's going to destroy the temple. So they accused him of that, right? So now that you know he came at night, was talking to him, then now we get down to the part where Nicodemus, after Jesus told him he must be born again, Jesus said, how can these things be? So I'm asking you the same question. Who can tell me what born again means? How can these things be? You look like Nicodemus, puzzled. So let me give you a clue. When I was born, my mom and dad gave me a name. What's my name? Reuben, right? This is my name. Then I grew up. I went to school. Guess what my teacher called me? She called me by my full name, Reuben Ray Byler. Then I got home, and I was a different kid at home. They gave me nicknames. I'll not go into those. Then I grew up. I got married. I became a husband. Then I had 4 children. What do children call their parents? What do children call their parents? A dad. Now, my name changed to a dad. Then, I wanted to be a dad and I wanted to follow God, but something wasn't right in here. There was only water in here, right? It was empty. Or actually, there wasn't even water. It was empty. I knew I had to fill it with something. So afterwards, Justice, what happens? What did the water turn into? Wine. So I asked Jesus to come into my life and fill my life, right? Then, remember, John said, he is the light, and in every man shineth, and that chases out the darkness. Who created darkness in our life? Who made the first sin? Adam and Eve, right? The devil tempted them to sin, but then Adam and Eve actually sinned. So now when Jesus came into my heart, chased out the darkness, what is my name now? What am I? Now I am a child of God. See, what is born of the flesh is flesh. My first fleshly mom and dad called me Reuben. But now what is of spirit is spiritual, right? I can't explain how Jesus did that inside of me. I can't explain the water into wine, but I know now that Jesus lives in me, and the wine that he put in me is good, right? So now I am a child of God. So for each one of you, I want you guys to take a label, and there are 4 places to write names. You guys can go back and see what people call you and what God calls you, right? You can go in the Bible, you can find out what God calls you, and I like this last name the best. That's the one that's going to last forever. And with that, you guys are dismissed. I'll get